Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2023. Nobody's happy to be here. Actually, well, that's probably not true. I'm sure somebody is happy to be here. It's not me. Welcome back. Hi, everybody. Hello, we're here. We made it. We survived. Everybody who made it to 2023, congratulations. Surely things will get better from here. And I have a question for all of you that I think you will enjoy pondering to yourselves. Um, if there was, sadly, our problems do not get left behind in the year before, so now everybody has to deal with whatever they were dealing with last year. Again, and more. So, I would like to know if there's anything that if you could get rid of one problem in your life, and it has to be a you thing, it can't be a worldwide thing, you can't do something across the board, it has to be something that is in your life, that is something that you don't like that you'd have to deal with. If you could get rid of it, so you had an opportunity once a year to get rid of one thing in your life that you didn't like, what would that thing be? I didn't realize I had myself muted. It just took me a second to unmute. You guys don't know my life. You guys don't know. You guys don't know. I turned my mouse speed up, so I'm already all over the place. Pondered twice today. That's a lot of pondering. That's a lot of pondering. Just happy to not be in 2022. Yeah, 2022 was pretty rough. Pretty rough. You guys are already trying to get me. It's my first day back in the new year, and you guys are already trying to ruin, like, wreck my day. Thanks. Big preach. So anyway, yeah, welcome back to Tuesday Talks, and, welcome to the shit show. My mom got me this mug for Christmas. Not bad, right? Right? That's pretty good. And now I'm gonna get in trouble because YouTube changed their policies. So for anybody who doesn't know, there was a YouTube policy change. For anybody who cares, we don't entirely know what the policy change exactly entails because we never do. And it seems to be like swearing within the first X number of minutes in the video. We also, if you have noticed, in the bottom right corner, now have a little ad reel type thing for channels that I enjoy or channels that are friendly from I like to call them friendly channels because I think that's the most accurate way. Let's also get chat showing up here so you guys can realistically you can already see each other, but oh wait, let's make sure this is going to the right thing. Yeah, it is not. There we go. Hey. There we go. Done. There. Yeah, there we go. You guys should also have yourselves over here. So some of these are D&D channels. Some of them are just chalk and chill channels. Some of them are analytics channels. Yeah, feel free to check them out if you are interested. They use these things as their socials and such. So I definitely recommend. Oh, we've been saying this year will be better since what, 2019? Listen, you don't need to come at and attack everybody like that. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't know. It's one of those things where we're in a really weird transitional period all over the place, and I don't want to say the world because not everywhere in the world is, but there's a lot of places that are going through a lot of changes, either politically or idealistically or economically. And so these things are always fluctuating, but there's just been a lot in the last couple of years. There has been a lot. And I can understand why people maybe are not necessarily that excited for 2023. Um I don't know what is coming down the line. I don't know what will be worse or what will be better or what's going to go well and what isn't. There's elections coming up. There's all kinds of nonsense happening. But hey, we're gonna follow it over on the Unnamed Tavern. We're gonna keep an eye on the planet, and maybe we're gonna just try and find one piece of good world news. How some good news? Dapper Dino hit 9,000 subs, so congrats to Dapper. I'm gonna be over there tonight later. It is Kent with Bent number 100. Hell yeah, that's gonna be super uber fun. So come and check that out later tonight. And also, I know I've ragged on Atheist Alliance International a lot, which is a bullshit organization that has done not a whole lot since their coup happened, I guess. However, on the other hand, atheists, the Irish sector, there's an Irish group of atheists that has gained UN status and now has a special seat. So if you are an atheist, and as much as I rag on atheist organizations, if there is an atheist organization that you're looking for, you might want to look into them. Actually, why don't we do that? Why don't we look at that? Why not? I don't see why not. Let me go find it. Let's pull it up. I didn't really have a super uber plan for today. Mostly because I wanted to look back on what had gone on in the past year and answer any lingering questions if anybody had any lingering questions about whatever has gone on over the past year. Hell yeah, come to Camp with Ben. Camp with Ben's super uber fun. Let me see if I can find it. Poor Geo has broken his Shrelink line. Shellenk? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. Sorry. This is how my year starts. Oh boy. The first day back and I don't know anything that's going on. I'm completely unprepared. As I ought to be. Oh, in Puck news, Puck is feeling better. He is doing the stairs. He's still a little bit slow going up the stairs, and once in a while he's a little wobbly going down. But for the most part, he is doing much better. So for anybody who is concerned about Puck, he has made vast improvements. He should be fine in the next couple weeks. So that's good. Where is it? I will find it. I believe in myself. Hey, Godless Scummer, good to see ya. Godless Scummer recently had a competition over on his channel for basically cunt of the year. I was gonna show up and participate, but I felt like I would have put a bit of a damper on the celebration. Because I think anybody could guess who I would nominate, and I didn't wanna taint your not. But it looked like you guys had a lot of fun. Why am I stupid? Why am I not seeing this? Oh God, it's Jordan Peterson. Get out of here, Jordan Peterson. What do you want? Yeah. I'll find it. Oh well, there's Michael Nugent. That's a start. Oh my God. Oh, there it is. Okay, Atheist Ireland. That's what they're called. Okay. So they have a link thing. Let's open that up. Here we go. Because I saw something funny. Oh, Matt Powell won? That's good. Matt Powell deserves to win, being one of the worst people ever. What? Here we go. Atheist Ireland. So, oh, you might have noticed my background is a little bit different, and that's just because I tilted my camera. So you can see the bed a little bit more, so when Puck actually does decide he wants to make an appearance, he'll be right there. Okay, so Atheist Ireland over here. Democratic and successful advocacy group for secularism, rationality, pluralism, and human rights. So if you are an atheist who has bought into Atheist Alliance International, then you may want to reconsider and move your support over here instead, but I will absolutely leave that up to you. Now, there's a little bit of shenanery going on. If you look over here, where is it? Let me find it. Hold on. No, not contact. Where was it? Info, maybe? Find out more. Comments. You can leave comments, which is pretty cool. About friends. Okay, it was friends. Here it is. I found it. So, friends, atheist, secular, humanist, and science, and reason-based organizations, campaign groups, and friends from around the world. So I'm still looking into this, so they're not getting my support yet. But if you want to find out a little bit more about them, I recommend going and checking out Free Thought Profit. They tend to know a little bit more about these things. They follow them a little closer than I do. So I definitely recommend Jimmy Snow one last year. God, that's a blast from the bat. I actually recently rewatched Fats of Jack's. Jimmy Snow is just three Gabby Hannas in a trench coat. Because he like popped up on my timeline, and I'm like, why the hell is Jimmy Snow on my timeline? And then I wanted to refresh my memory, and I was just like, oh god, I forgot how awful all of this was. Terrible. I really hope I never do anything like that, but if I do, it'll probably be completely accidental, and hopefully somebody, like, just being like, are you stupid, will, trigger me to not be stupid. Alright, so they've got, like, who's friendly with them, like, who do they work with? So they got Atheism UK, Christianity Disproved, Council of Ex-Muslims of Britain, Freedom from Religion Foundation, and then at the bottom here, there's Michael Nugent, Richard Dawkins stuff, Secular Cafe. There's a comment from Slurpee Master himself. I was just looking into this and I was just like, oh, who works with them? Da, 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 da. Oh god, of course. Of course. I do not I get like in a thing, right? I don't know if you guys get this thing, but if somebody is trying too hard to get into every single piece of a community, I start to get suspicious of like their reasoning as to why they're trying so hard to get in everything. You can only have your hand in so many cookie jars before people start thinking you're just out to take everybody's cookies. You know what I mean? Mika, it's good to see you. I am a big meanie. It's true. Puck does like those kinds of things. Okay, so so of course I was just looking around and now it is a comment. He is not listed on the website as somebody who is working with them at all. So the comment said, "Could you add Canadian atheists to your list of Friends of Atheist Ireland under the info menu question mark?" That dude, you're leaving the comment in that exact area, so I don't know why you feel the need to be so specific, but you know, I guess I can appreciate being thorough. Here's the description you can use. That's presumptuous. Please note that the A in Canadian atheists is intentionally lowercase. Why? Canadian atheist, true northern, strong and free. Yeah, whatever. We've gone over Canadian atheist and their, Slurpee machine. Canadian atheists are concerned about rights, freedoms, and the general well being of atheists in Canada and internationally. Our desire is for peaceful advocacy, and we are happy to participate in public discourse as a means of engaging in the free exchange of ideas. Thank you. Uh huh. We. Peaceful. Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, I just saw Randolph Richardson pop up there and I thought it was really, really funny, so I thought I thought I would share. But for anybody interested, here's the Twitter and here's the there's the links in the chat there if you guys are interested. It's also a show on the screen real quick there for anybody who's looking in the future. But I'm sorry, I just thought it was funny. So I guess we can take a look back and see where we've been this year. Where has the channel gone? What have we talked about? So the last year, if I scroll down, we have so much set up, by the way. Notify, notify, notify. You can get these little notify things if you're interested. But the year started way down here 4 months ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, 11 months ago. Ah, yes, 1 year ago. We started off on a high this year. Like, oh my god, it was so we got non-sec back. That was the thing. That's where we started this year. And where are we now? We're with Debate Hub. That's where we are now. The real non sequitur. I forgot this is how far back it was. I really did. We were doing decent December. That was back when you fired Steve. 7-Eleven has many stores in different countries, therefore Canadian Atheist is an international organization. Yes. Uh So we started off with, oh yeah, we also had a new That Time of the Month crew coming in, and that fell apart immediately. I really would still love to do That Time of the Month again, and I really miss Sweet Heathen. If Sweet Heathen ever comes back at any point in time, because she is always welcome, I would love to have her on once a month for That Time of the Month again. That would be amazing. I would be so, so, so happy. But we did Decent December. We did not do Decent December this year. There was way too much going on for me to be able to properly organize it in a way that I would hope that it would be effective. So we are gonna try and do it this coming year. So please, if you are working for, if you are an advocate or a volunteer for an organization that you would like to come on and talk about it, please email me because I would love to do it. Yeah, Mika got really busy. Mika got so busy. Manya's been moving. We lost Erin because she's a bitch. But Manya's also currently moving right now too. We started Dumbfeck Fridays more regularly because we were covering Katie Joy, and we stopped covering Katie Joy because there was really no reason to cover Katie Joy, and there was no way I was gonna sit around and watch all of her content to bother. I was just not, don't care that much. I also had at least one or two people that are like regular members and chatters being like, I will pay you money to stop talking about this bitch. So I did. So I did that. Did you guys all know what happened with Aaron? Actually, chat, did you guys happen to figure out what happened with that? I mean, it was pretty public. I think Manya was the one who ended up talking about it over on her channel, but I don't remember if I ever talked about it here. Um, Dumbfuck Friday became kind of regular. Oh yeah, this was the one about. Oh, I forgot. This is the Crafty Keela shit. I haven't talked about that bitch in a while either. That was the. She okay. So this woman decided to accuse people of doxing her after she put her own info out, and then said she was opening and like an international investigation into Manya or something, which never happened. Surprise, surprise. Then she got really mad because a person who plays a character called Ivy Coon uses an anime avatar, and then tried to say that the anime avatar was like a sexy child, and she is definitely not. She is definitely wearing like the same thing I'm wearing right now. Yeah, Mika saw the DMs in real time. Yep. Keemstar went Keemstar and Katie Joy. I just don't. There's a reason why. I mean, I guess I could. If you guys are interested enough, I can do a check in on Katie Joy and see how she's doing and what she's up to. But I really don't see the value in doing that because she's not really doing anything any differently. She's just doing the same shit. So like, I don't know. Really, there's not really anything to talk about. Um, 2022 is when that fish person emailed me saying I would be doxxed by you. Oh yeah! Still waiting for that to happen. I forgot about that too. That savage minnow girl. What the fuck happened to her? I have no idea. Oh man. Oh, Waxy was a crazy lady. Oh, I was playing. Oh man, I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon when we talked about that. Guns, Magic, and Steel was still going. I am hoping we will come back to Guns, Magic, and Steel about halfway through the year this year, because we do need to wait for everybody to kind of settle down. Gutsick Gibbon went and got married. Maddie went and had a baby. So, you know, women are doing women things. This is why we get paid less. This is the gender wage gap. She devolved further downward. Yeah, exactly. I don't really know what would be worth. I thought the name was Salty Sardine. To be fair, that would be a really good name. I did an AMA. because like look at my hair. Oh my god. I've been debating on cutting the back off again. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. This was a really good one. Aaron ghosted us and didn't show up. But this one, I had a lot of fun talking about the different women Republicans. That was a lot of fun. Oh, the trucker protests were going on. I had my green screen up. I do not currently have my green screen up. It is actually over there. I haven't figured out how to set it up in here yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We're still settling in. It's okay. It's okay. I remember I was going somewhere in town recently. It wasn't like it was like a month or two ago, and there were still trucker protests going on. Not a whole ton. There was like 5 or 6 people, but there was still people out there. So that I thought that was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ink Boy's right. Isn't the NSS a teen mom channel now? Is it? Oh God. Ew, what the fuck? Um oh, when it came to Futurama and HBO stuff, they managed to settle. So the guy who played Bender is still going to play Bender, and they managed to work everything out. They negotiated everything through. So we should, if it comes to fruition, we should actually get everybody back voicing themselves for Futurama for anybody who's interested in that. So that's the update on that one. Did some art, and then this is where shit went south. 9 months ago, wow. Oh, I'm surprised this stream was only 2.5 hours. There was a lot of questions that came in, and I answered as best as I could. But hey, feel free to recheck that out if there was anything that's that needs more elaboration. I'm more than happy to answer questions. I don't want to have to like cover the same thing over and over and over again, but I am absolutely happy to do my best to answer to the best of my ability when I'm able to do so. So sometimes it's a matter of waiting for a good time to ask a question, or sometimes it's good to have a question that I might not be able to answer right now, but I'll note down, and when it's one of these kinds of streams, I'll be able to answer. Because I don't, you can't let it, like, I don't want, and I think I've successfully managed to not have what went down in last February take over my own channel. Um, oh yeah, Kevin Sorbo talking about how he's kicked out in Hollywood. I should do another Dumbfuck Friday on Kevin Sorbo. We haven't seen Kevin Sorbo in a little while. See what he's up to. Still getting shit canned by Lucy Lawless, I'm sure. I see him pop up on Twitter once in a while, but I mean, of course he shows up on PragerU stuff. We played Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I still have. I have not played that in the background specifically so I can bring it back to streaming. I want to be able to do it on Sundays over on Twitch, which will be for members, available for members here, but I'm not there yet. I don't want to start streaming on Sundays until I can regularly stream on Thursdays. Once Thursdays, which is art, which is again available for members, and on Twitch. So if you guys are interested in Twitch stuff that's happening over there, or interested in art stuff that's happening over on Twitch, once I'm regularly doing that, I want to start adding that back in. So I've got a lot. There's so much scheduled this month already. I have one day one day that's open, and 2 floater days for like, because I always like to leave 1 or 2 things because things happen. So it's good to leave like extra stuff. Oh yeah, this was when I started. This is before Manya became a regular on Dumbfuck Friday. This is when she started showing up. And we went over some emails that we were getting because we were working on that, or I was working on pre-production for that thought project. So it's a shame that didn't work out, but it was fun while it lasted. And I actually learned quite a bit in the pre-production, so it was definitely worth a while. Then I did a bunch of art because I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with myself? And I'm like, well, why not go back to my roots and do the things that I'm good at doing and do some art? This layout was really fugly though. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like, I like the design. Like, sorry, I like the way the squares are blocked out, but I really don't like the design and coloring I picked. It's kind of fugly. Yeah, I'll have to see if my liver can survive this week. You are correct. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be so much fun, but also I'm pretty sure my brain is going to explode. I have a special beer that I got for Christmas that I'm gonna drink, and we're gonna find out if I like it or not. It's a chocolate and hazelnut stout. Um, I make no promises. Oh yes, absolutely. It's gonna be here for members, but if you are interested in art and enjoy the art stuff, please, please, please come and join me on Twitch because that's where that's gonna be happening. And this is Twitch is a little bit more this kind of style. So if you enjoy Tuesdays style, it's kind of like this, but with art happening. Tomorrow, Dapper and Landon are coming on for another drinking game where we're looking at a video that's talking about how fossil fuels aren't real. The myth of fossil fuels. Chocolate hazelnut sounds like Nutella. Ooh, I wonder if it is. Wonder if it is. Cider ready for Kent with Bent. I might actually take a trip out to the liquor store before Kent with Bent today. I always make sure that wherever I'm living, I'm within walking distance of a liquor store or a beer store. Currently, I'm within walking distance of both a liquor store and a beer store. Always, always, always. Whenever you move, make sure you've got the things that you value and are necessities for you nearby, because you never know when your car's gonna break. Yeah, this is like the week of Landon, by the way. We got Landon on Wednesday, Landon on Friday, and Landon on Saturday this week. Because tomorrow we've got our drinking game. Thursday will be art on Twitch and for members here. And Friday is a Pele update. And then Saturday is Unnamed Tavern. I did so much. I just like dropped everything and just did art for like a month or two. Look at this. Art, art, art. Oh, yeah. And then Dumb Fact Friday. And we had to deal with Amber Heard. This was nearly a 10-hour video because I watched the 7 hours of Amber Heard on the stand because I could not believe this. I could not believe this nonsense. I still can't believe some of this nonsense. It's absurd. And then we brought Manya on. Oh, I was out of space. More Amber Heard. Like there was so much. There was so much. Oh yeah, alpha masculinity. We should go check up on alpha masculinity, shouldn't we? We should do that. Hold on, let me make a note because like I think this is fun. Looking back at what we did this year and seeing if there's anything that we can cover again. We should check in on alpha masculinity. See if no fapping forever is working out for him. I did a bunch of extra Dumb Feck Fridays because like there's so much. Then there was our very first debate hub with Landon and Kirk. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't follow Kirk, go follow Kirk. Kirk is fantastic. Not only is his hair fabulous, but he's very good at making one his points understandable and two explaining he's very how do I explain this? He's very much not like he's not a Republican, he's not a Democrat. He is very good at criticizing both sides equally. And when I say both sides equally, I mean legit there are criticisms. He's not criticizing one and giving a pass to the other, right? It's not one-sided that way. It is very much a matter of like this is something the Democrats did wrong. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat. This is something the Democrats have done wrong and I'm criticizing that thing independent of whatever else is going on. Here's something the Republicans have done wrong. Da 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 da. But he doesn't compare the two. He's not saying, well, the Republicans did this right and this wrong, and well, the Democrats did it. He doesn't treat them both like they're equals. He just treats them both fairly in that he's not comparing and contrasting them when he's criticizing them. He's just criticizing them for what they are and what they're doing. So it removes out that problem where well, the Democrats did this wrong, therefore the it takes out that competition between the two. Um, anyway, go check out Kirk if you're interested. He's great. I need to have him back on again. He's wonderful. Then we did our very first volcano stream. That was wonderful. I do want to thank everybody, by the way, for Debate Hub would not exist if it wasn't for Landon and Dapper and Bent and Manya and basically everybody in the Discord. If it wasn't for them, I don't think Debate Hub would exist, because I only attempted to even do it because I was like, are we giving up? I'm pretty sure that was something I legitimately asked in the Discord, because so many of the people that are in the Discord and so many people that are mods now and are members now are people who came over from the Non Sequitur Show debacle. And so we had tried doing the Thought Project and that didn't go anywhere. And so I was like, I'm not going to do this if we're just tired, if we're just done. Because if we're just done and tired and don't want to do this kind of show or this kind of, it's more like a successor, like to bring the ideas and the philosophy behind something and the concepts of what it's like to have a discussion and what it's like to delve into or dive into different topics and kind of be able to get guests for those topics. It's a lot of work. And so I was like, are we giving up? Are we done? Do we want to keep trying to do this? And everybody, I was so burned out. I was so tired. And the Discord basically responded and told me, don't do it if you're too tired. But, like, if you're done, be done. But if you do it, we're going to watch it. We want it if you're going to do it. But don't do it if it's too much. And that was wonderful. This show would not exist. This show would not exist if it wasn't for the community backing it, basically. They're the ones who wanted it. They're the ones who made it possible. Half the guests that I've even have been people that community members have been, hey, talk to this person. Hey, reach out to this person. Hey, I've reached out to this person and they're interested. Chris Shelton is the best example of that. I wouldn't have even talking to Chris if it wasn't for Rodent, right? So many butts. There are lots of butts in the Discord. Either way, Debate Hub would not exist if it wasn't for you guys. So thanks. And also, I'm glad you guys have enjoyed the shows, and it's building up. Having to start with like nothing, and because I didn't have to start entirely at nothing, because my channel did exist and there were like sporadic things, but it was kind of just a catch-all. And so being able to build that backlog and put that in, and I'm looking forward to seeing some growth this year, I think. And that's wonderful, and I'm happy about that. More Johnny Depp stuff. There was our first free thought profit about the Atheist Alliance stuff and figuring out what the hell was going on with that nonsense. Can the next Debate Hub be on blimps? No. Only because the next Debate Hub is tomorrow and it's already scheduled. So it cannot be blimps. Can I schedule a blimps one? I can certainly try. Yeah, Chris Sheldon's great. ACLU. The mainstream media is so goddamn infuriating. And I'm like, they're still infuriating as far as I'm concerned. They still bother me. Their existence is futile. Masculine Theory was the other one we did. I think this was the video where Manya came on as a permanent, like a mainstay, because you can see the background changed, right? It's got the chalky look. When Dumbfuck Friday actually turned into a show, like a proper show. Sorry, I'm just writing Masculine Theory down as well, because if we're gonna like check in on these guys, I feel like we should probably just do both of them at once. That's PBS. This show is made possible by viewers like you. I wonder if I can rip that. Like, I wonder if I'll get copyright struck by PBS if I'd, like, just take their shit. Mika. Mika, are you encouraging me to do bad things? We can do that. We'll do that. I had Cindy Lincoln on, who was wonderful. Actually, I really enjoyed this stream. This was a lot of fun. Cindy's actually coming back later this month. So we're gonna get Cindy Lincoln with Sal, who's never been on here. So if you guys are interested, Sal and Bent and Cindy are coming on, because I think it's gonna be fun to get. I got a handful of Christians basically to come on and tell me about their experience, because we criticized the atheist sort of online community, and I'm curious to think what Christians' experience is like with the online atheist community. So they're going to be coming on and talking about their experience with that and how that's kind of been for them, and maybe we're going to be what works and what doesn't. And then we're going to come back again with a handful of different atheists to watch their video and respond to those criticisms. And then maybe I'll even be able to get some Christians and some atheists in the room at the same time. We'll see. Oh, the first time we talked about Dr. Charlotte Proudman. Ugh. We had Shirley on. I loved having Shirley on. I think this the way this one actually went was a little bit both of us being too excited and talking too much at the same time. So, but I think we've improved from there. But I loved talking to her. She was just so much fun. D&D one-shot idea. The party goes on a raid into AAI's headquarters to find the missing bylaws. This interview on NBC was so bad. It was so bad. Oh, and there's a Michelle Dauber. And look, this is Manya. Manya took over my channel for the day. I don't remember where I was, but I was not there, so she did it by herself. There's Pele. We had, oh, right, Roe v. Wade got overturned, and so we had a big old tavern talking about that, and had a bunch of people on. This is before the tavern kind of solidified into what it is. I still do want to have, like, these kinds of hangouts, but I think they might end up just being restricted to the Discord. Maybe it would be valid to record them and post them as videos later, but I'm not sure. Because we don't really have hangout streams anymore. So, I mean, I don't know if we should. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it would be nice. The D&D movie is coming this year. I want to go to California and hang out with Trevor for that premiere so goddamn bad. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. GoFundMe send Chesh to California for a week. Please, please. I also want to go hang out with Karma, because guess who's still in touch with Karma Valley? Guess who wants to come on and kind of talk about some shit? Yeah, so that might happen later. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Somebody apparently has some stories to tell. We started the Goblin's Lair, which was wonderful. Goblin's Lair has been a little bit on the back burner with setting up and getting debate hubs rolling. I still want to do these and highlight D&D stuff, but I can't decide if it needs to be its own channel, or if it needs to be on Twitch, or if it needs to be, I might need to be more entrenched in the D&D community before I can really start doing something like this. This was right before Spontaneum started, by the way. If you haven't checked out Spontaneum, you should absolutely go check out Spontaneum. It is wonderful. Chesh just needs to record our hangouts without our knowledge and post our reviews. I would never purposefully record somebody without their knowledge and post it. Every time I've recorded somebody, it's always been with their knowledge. Oh, D&D going woke. God, this was the guy who was like, role of women, and we were just like, oh god, here we go again. We had Jeff Holiday and Egghead on to talk about guns. This conversation was also a lot of fun. I don't think we quite heard enough from Egghead because me and Jeff talked too much. And I think it was mostly me. I think that was mostly me. And I cringe out of my skin. I thought this was my birthday. So this is in July. And we were, I played League of Legends because it was just a hangout birthday stream. I need to fix the layout here. This still kind of looks like crummy. But, well, whatever. At least we managed to... Jack is still wrong about Star Trek, by the way, to this very day. I'm saying that because he's in the chat. Mika being too based ends up on YouTube. You're gonna get canceled for being too based, Mika. Having Trevor on, I absolutely love Trevor. He is wonderful. He is so much fun. I absolutely recommend checking out his Twitter timeline. It is a hella fun. Or if you see in the bottom here, you'll see Negative to Charisma coming on. It's their D&D campaign that is streamed on Twitch. It is great. He plays a gun-slinging minotaur, and it is so much fun. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but they also have backlogs on YouTube, so you can search them on YouTube as well and find the backlogs. It is super duper fun. So having him on to just talk about DMing and how to DM and was great, and then having him on to frame by frame nerd out over over the D&D movie. Oh yeah, we did Bad Women Takes. I don't know why this ended up with the same thumbnail. I don't know how that happened, but oh well. We had Jackson Wheat on and Ashford, who were both lovely, and I loved having them on. I haven't heard from Ashford since, though, so I hope they're doing okay, but this was really, really interesting. Because they had actually gone to, and Jackson both of them had gone to, some of the protests, so it was really interesting to hear from them. More Trevor, please. Yes, I want to have more Trevor. Trevor is just very busy. As far as I know, he's been out doing paleontology things, so he's been out on a dig. So he has not had time to be able to come in. However, I am working on getting both him and Steven on, to kind of talk about their games and talk about, like, they went to a con, I think it was Dragon Con, if I remember correctly, and they did a science talk about, basically, like, mythical monsters. So I want to get the two of them on. Thanks, Twitwit. Have a good day. I want to have them on and kind of talk about what they ended up presenting at Dragon Con and how Dragon Con went and what their plans are and yada yada yada. So I'm working on getting both of them back on. I really, really want to have Steven back on. He was fantastic, but I haven't found a good thing to get him on for. Oh yeah, Cat. There's the first time we had Chris Shelton on. I loved having Chris on. If I could have Chris on every day, I would have Chris on every day. Go and watch Chris's channel. His stuff is so insightful. It's got such a valuable and interesting perspective, which is very much counter to what we regularly get drilled into our heads every goddamn day. We get, instead of like, oh, facts don't care about your feelings, it is, no, facts are a part of your feelings, and feelings are a part of your facts, and how you interpret the world. So it takes a very different approach than what you'll find most, like, debunking does, and it has less of, like, a stringent point-by-point debunk, and more of, like, a conceptual debunk. It's really, really interesting. I definitely recommend checking out his channel. If you have not, please go. Please go and check out Chris's channel and share it with your friends, because a lot of the information that's on there is just applicable across the board. Like, it doesn't have, like, it has a lot of staying power. Yeah, there it is. We were on stream for 3 hours talking about this 1-2 minute clip. I absolutely loved it. I want Trevor to come back so bad. God damn it, Trevor, stop being so busy and come hang out with me. Oh, we had the TTRPG review. I was having internet problems, or Dapper was having internet problems during this, which is really too bad. As you can see, the layout is still getting worked on. Pele. This was Steven, by the way. We ended up talking about some crazy stuff on this one. We're just like, oh, cool, let's talk about Nazis. Because of course we did. I'm such a jerk. I bring this man on. He doesn't know me. We go into a talk and I just like geek out and start talking about like the ethics of alignment. And he's just like, okay, I guess. Ugh, I'm a bad person. We did this one, the not American Atheist. I got my Squid Pope hat. I did two of them because I wanted two regular times. So that was fun, but I don't think like I really actually like the layout on this. I kind of like this bar at the bottom. I kind of like the way that looks. I'd like to implement that somehow, but I don't really know how. Maybe I can get one down here. Maybe I can get one like right here, and I can put one down there going. I don't know what I would have on it entirely, but I think it'd be cool. I liked it. I will geek out about Tifa versus Eris all day long. I like my hair here. It kind of looks good there. Um, but okay, and I'm gonna nerd out again for a second because I was talking about this the other day with some of the housemates, and it is like the contrast between Tifa and Eris and how like brilliant it is between the character design and then like what actually happens with the characters. Because like Eris is set up to be like, I commune with nature. I'm an innocent young girl. I have healing powers. So you expect her to be like, even the way her like pose is, and the way she presents herself, is that she's going to be like this demure, quiet, like innocent girl who is just like so nice to everybody, and that's the way people remember her. But if you play the game and listen and like read what she actually says, she's not. She's awful. She's selfish. She just shits on she doesn't understand boundaries, and like she just like just stomps all over people. She's aggressive. It's amazing. She's kind of just a bad person. Whereas Tifa runs a bar, is a fist fighter, kickboxer, where like has more of aggressive stance and clothing and the way that her character design is. But she is like the most like maternal, is worried about everybody, like make sure everybody is okay, make sure everybody's healed, like do you need anything? I love it. It's brilliant. And I could go on about it forever. I could like pull up their character designs and be like, "Look at this. Look at this. This is what you get." And then pull up like clips of things that they've said and how they behave and be like, "Look at this. Look at the Look at it." You know, brilliant. Oh, Spelljammer came out, and I was super excited for Spelljammer. I'm still excited for Spelljammer. Sadly, I do not have Spelljammer, but that's okay. It's okay, I'll survive. Oh yeah, let's not forget about Spiegel. I think this is right around the time when we first got our intro. Our intro is amazing, so thank you, Smonophone. I don't know how to pronounce your whole name, and I'm sorry for that. Saxomonophone, I think is what it is. Um, he sent me an audio clip, and I took that audio clip and turned it into. He sent the audio clip with a beat, and then I spliced it up and put it together and added the visuals. Yeah, Alex Jones, who has lost, by the way, a quick update on Alex Jones. He has lost his case, his next cases, and he's like in insane amounts of debt now. Um, Doing streams trying to emulate other people's art style is a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna do more of these in the future once we get through everybody's squaxamonophone. It's an A, squaxamonophone. That's what it is. She's hitting on Cloud after Zack died and Cloud was grieving. Okay, listen. I'm gonna take a pin. I'm gonna put a pin in that. Remind me to like just talk about Final Fantasy VII, period, and just we'll just have like a whole stream talking about Final Fantasy VII because I will. That's gonna have to be its own thing. Because It's the same thing with Kingdom Hearts. Don't get me started. I will lose it. I got a new blanket, by the way. I want to do some more of these, like, try and recreate this style or do this character in this other style, later on in the year. I don't want to do them right this second because I'm still turning pets into Pokemon, and turning pets into Pokemon is super duper duper fun. So I'm gonna do that one. Hello there. So I'm gonna do that. Um, I'm gonna do that later on in the year. Um, so if you have any art styles you'd like to see me attempt, please feel free to let me know what those might be and what character you want to see. We can make like a wheel and we'll spin a wheel. Vic Mignogna. I have not reached out to Vic to have him on yet. Um, Maybe I will try to schedule something with him in February. Because it would really be fascinating to just pick his brain, just to be like, what do you think the problem is? Like, what do you seriously think the issue is with your public presentation? Um, but I also don't want him to, accidentally show his dick on my stream. I would really not appreciate that. Updates with his law stuff. Last I heard, his motion has been denied. Surprise, surprise. And the only way to move forward is to go through to the Supreme Court, which, okay. Jojo is wonderful. I definitely recommend. He's probably one of the most wholesome people. Not on Twitter. He's not wholesome on Twitter. He's hilarious on Twitter. But seeing his streams or seeing him on streams, he is so wonderfully wholesome. He's very cute. I definitely recommend checking out JoJo's stuff for sure. I'd love to have him back on sometime too. This was a whole thing, and what was going on with Kiwi Farms, Alex Jones. We actually had I think. Wow, I'm pretty impressed with myself. If you look at this, we did one big stream about what had gone on when it happened in February, and then up here, 3 months ago, it was February. So this was 9 months ago. So it took 6 months before I did a stream updating and talking about what Steve was actually up to. Huh. Good job, me. I'm proud of myself. We need to finish this Charizard painting. We should do that. So I have not heard a single update about this lawsuit, with Wizards of the Coast and TSR. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything about this. Pele tracking, hell yeah. Bad Women Takes are probably some of my favorite streams to do with Manya. The reason I haven't done another one, I would have done one this past Friday, but I didn't do one because Manya was in the midst of moving. So I was like, no, we'll wait for Manya. We gotta wait for Manya for that. We can't. We should also talk about Andrew Tate. Oh my god. Not because I think he deserves a whole stream on his own, because he absolutely does not. There's not enough to talk about, but I do want what I think is funny and worth looking at is the way people have responded to him getting arrested. Like what people have said. People have been like, "Oh, the government's just out to get him." People have been like, "Oh, the leftists are freaking out because Andrew Tate posted about his cars and then he got arrested." Oh my god. Watching people lose their mind over it has been the best thing ever. I've had a lot of fun just doom scrolling through Twitter, looking at people's responses, just being like, why are you so attached to this bald man? I don't understand. Matt Dillahunty. I haven't really heard much about this. There's some interesting comments that have been left on this video that are like a degree. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut my hair again as I'm looking at it now. I think I like it there. This is getting out of control. Like I can't do anything with it. It's wet. I was in the shower before coming. Like this is all too much. Who's this Tate anyway? Andrew Tate is an ex MMA fighter. I don't think he fights anymore, but again, I don't really follow. I don't follow Andrew Tate, and I don't follow MMA, so I would have to actually look in. But he got arrested in Romania for human trafficking. If I was gonna do a video on Andrew Tate, I would have to actually go in and look to see why he was arrested for, because I haven't been following that story, so I know he was arrested for human trafficking, but I don't know what led up to that arrest. Um, I haven't heard anything about Matt Dillahunty, so since this video, besides people like weirdly defending him, I haven't. Oh yeah, his last fight only last week or so. So yeah, he's an ex-MMA fighter then. He's done. Oh, with Greta. Okay, never mind then. Ha ha ha. Very funny. JL Warden. Nerding out about horror with JL Warden was a lot of fun. I think the who would win fights, yes or no, was a little bit long in this video. I think it probably should have been cut down to like maybe give me your best 5. Um, there was a couple where I was just had to guess because I'm like I don't know this one. But it was a lot of fun to talk to, and we did get to nerd out quite a bit. I'd love to have him on again sometime. And maybe talk about um like the influence of social social, like the way the world is influences horror, and horror influences the way the world is. So what are people of that culture afraid of? And so you can look at horror and see what people were afraid of depending on when and where they were. So if you look at the history of horror, you can see, oh, people are really afraid of zombies, and then zombies go away and vampires come in, and then vampires go away and werewolves come in, and then werewolves go away and then zombies come back in. And so you can see the kind of that, or you get like a lot of alien horror, or you get like and they're all representative of what like that society is uncomfortable with or feels guilty about sometimes. And so that's a lot of fun, and you can kind of look through that. I'd love to have him on to talk about that. Um, the Unnamed Tavern, where we talked about Bad Dillahunty, had like, that was fun. That was a fun one. We haven't done a hangout stream in a long time, and so I didn't make the thumbnail for this. I did make a thumbnail, but then just thought the stupid screenshot pause that YouTube picked up was way funnier. Toxic masculinity plus Andrew Tate equals incel god. Yeah, there's Andrew Tate's got some really dumb ideas that don't make any sense, and I think he reminds me of Jordan Peterson. Actually, he gives me the same kind of ideology, different presentation. One is more one is trying to sound aggressive and smart, and the other one is just trying to sound intellectual, I guess. Um, Following Mars Girl this past year, has been fascinating because I still follow her on Twitter. I don't make videos about every single thing she does or posts or whatever she gets into, but watching sort of the stuff that cycles around her, I would love, love, love to have her on to kind of talk about her social media experience, because that girl's been through a lot, like a lot, and I would be fascinated to sort of hear how she's dealt with it and what she's decided to do and what she's learned in approaching different situations, because sometimes she just like ignores whatever's happening, and sometimes she just like goes in on someone so hard, and it's like every so often there's just like just destruction. And I imagine it's because she's learned to have like she's probably got like on the side just like, oh, these are the things that happen here, let me show them to you, and she's just got them ready on the side, and it's just like beautiful, beautiful. um both of these women, so we had this real nerds conversation where basically it was just like, oh well, girls aren't real nerds, yada yada yada. So the two main responses I was looking at was Thorn and Laura. Both of these women are coming on this month. So the people that I talked about in this video and looked at their responses, both of them are coming on later in the month. So look forward to that. I'm really excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Um Quartering's an idiot. There's nothing more. Beat the Cult. So I kind of get like a back and forth vibe about this woman, cuz in on one hand I understand talking about like the basic bitch talking points that you find with internet atheism. But on the other hand, I don't like how valuable. How many times can you have that conversation before it loses value? And are you actually diving into the topic? She seems like she's covering surface level. That, and I don't mean to say that she's surface level. I mean that what she's covering and what she's talking about is very like top sand, right? She's not digging into like the dirt and muck and what things are and how things are. But there are some things that she uses these base ideas to make these general statements that are really not good, in my opinion. So things like atheists are more moral than Christians. And it's like, no, they're fucking not. Nobody is more moral than anybody else as a group, especially as a group. And the bigger that group gets, the worse it's gonna be. Like, you can't even go around and say that people don't, that atheism isn't a religion anymore, really. Because, like, I mean, yeah, you can still say that one, but like, there's so many cults of personality inside the atheist community that I can understand why that comparison gets made nowadays. Right? Look at the response I got on the Matt Dillahunty video. They're not using Matt's rhetoric. They haven't learned anything from Matt's style of argumentation. They're not using the facts don't care about your feelings. They're not using any of the rules of engagement, let's say, that Matt encourages people to use. They're just saying shit. And it's like they've learned nothing. But they've learned nothing and they're defending the person that they didn't learn anything from. It's so fucking bizarre. It's so bizarre. And I don't even think I said anything that mean about the guy. So I don't. Jack, I'm not sure what you mean. I didn't realize Spoonie was ever actually part of Channel Awesome. I thought he was a tertiary channel that worked with them sometimes, but I don't know. Maybe. I've never actually looked through that whole thing. I know that her and Spoonie are on decent enough terms that they tweet back and forth at each other. So, seems fine to me. But I don't know when I didn't follow the Channel Awesome drama was a little bit before my time of following too much YouTube drama, so I missed that one. Metagaming. Yeah, there's a huge thing about metagaming, and I got in this one. Is this when I finally talked about the Hadozi? Because I was not talking about Hadozi for a while, and I finally did because I didn't name who I was talking about in this video, but I was talking about Chris Attlee. Chris Attlee. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know what the Hadozi controversy was about, basically there was a monkey race in D&D called the Hadozi that was part of Spelljammer. And people were upset about the way the Hadozi were being presented. Now, they weren't upset about the Hadozi because they were sentient monkeys. They were upset by the lore that they built for the Hadozi, which was really, really tone deaf and not well written. Right? It was really bad. So if you're interested, you can look into it, and there are definitely other creators that have covered it a lot better than I will or can in this video right now. So I definitely recommend checking it out. You can look into exactly why. But the issue wasn't that, oh my god, you made monkey people, you're making them black, yada yada yada, which is what Chris presented it as. He said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the tweet anymore, but he said something along the lines of, if you think the Hadozi is racist, maybe you're the problem and you're the racist. And it's like, you are not listening to the problem people are having, because that is not the issue. And to be that dismissive, strawman-y, and assholey about it, like, to just ignore what it completely disregarded what the issue was. Because the issue wasn't that they were monkeys. The issue was the representation of colonialism, as well as the disregard for the Hadozi as what would now be called well, it was race, but they're using something else now. Species. As a species? Whatever it is they're using. Because they basically, the Hadozi were only able to be people because other people let them be people. So, like, it was really weirdly whitewashy colonialist. The way it was written was real bad. It was real bad. It's not even like it was well-written colonialism, because you could have well-written colonialism, and I don't think people would have really too much of an issue about it. It was that it was so poorly written, and it removed all agency from the Hadozi, and that was really problematic. But again, I recommend checking it out. Go and check out another creator who has covered it better than I ever could, because again, I'm not the offended party. I mean, I'm a little bit offended by poor writing, but I'm not the person who I'm not the best person to cover it. There are better voices that are going to have more to add and have more value to them than what I can say about it. This is just a rough coverage. Anyway, he wrote that, and it pissed me off. And and I was like, 2 months later, I was finally talking with the Hadozi, and I'm like, if you are dismissing this because monkey people are therefore racist, you're not understanding the problem, and fuck you. I was like, this is so bullshit. Anyways, Chris Atlee that I was talking about in this video. I've been really nice to Chris for a long time, and then he decided to say some shit to me, and now I don't care. Is Twitter growing broke? I think I'm correct. I think that I'm more correct than I thought I was. Between the number of lawsuits, and I think I said in this video that there was going to be lawsuits. The number of lawsuits have probably doubled or tripled. As well as the amount of money owed. There has been an announcement that he's stepping down as CEO, and somebody else is going to be taking his place. But the thing is like, great, you can step down as CEO. That doesn't mean you're not the sole owner. It doesn't mean you're not responsible, right? You're still the sole person that's responsible for this, and that doesn't mean that debt and that money isn't going to end up coming out of other companies. So I'm going to laugh my ass off if the reason Tesla goes under or the reason SpaceX fails is in part because of Twitter. I'm just gonna think it's really, really funny. Chris and Dapper. Now, having Dapper and Chris on at the same time was not only awesome and a hell of a lot of fun, but it introduced the two of them to each other, and now Dapper has had Chris on, and I definitely recommend going and checking out that video because it's fucking awesome. Absolutely amazing. Mick Gordon and Marty. This is absurd and stupid. Like, so dumb and so bad. I haven't not heard of any updates to this, though, so this, as far as I know, stays the same. Vic Mignogna is still embarrassing himself on the internet. Surprise, surprise. You got game, bro. Both Jesse and Laura are coming on later this month. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Brendan Fraser still being amazing. 10 out of 10. The king. I couldn't believe that, like, I read this and then, like, just a little bit while later, Bethesda responded, and I don't know if it would have been better to wait and get Bethesda's response, but to be fair, Bethesda's response was so bad it took me an hour to, like, line by line it, so maybe it's better that it didn't. This is the first, like, official unnamed tavern to be set up the way that it is now officially set up. I have been tweaking the layout, so when you see it on Saturday, the layout will be a little bit different. I'm trying to figure out how to kind of have a header about what we're talking about when it switches over, because I want to leave this space at the top open, because I'm using it because I'm making videos to go along with those. So when we talk about each segment is basically getting a video, so that way it makes it a little bit more consumable, or if you're just interested in that one thing. Basically, I'm trying to make it more and be able to add graphics. And so I want to make it more accessible to you guys. I want to make it easier to understand in smaller snippets. And so I want to leave that space open, but during a live stream, it's still kind of not the greatest. So I think I want to put up there whatever the current thing we're talking about is, and then change that when we switch. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But I got to figure out a good way to do it that it doesn't make me... like, it doesn't make the video look really bad or too busy. So I'm figuring it out. We'll get there. We'll get there. We also actually have a little bit more structure to the show as of this one coming up. Hopefully, with any luck. We're being a little bit more picky about the stories and or about what news we cover, and kind of picking out an order. I can't wait to do another one of these. Chowder with Crowder was super duper fun. I do want to do it again, but I'm still not going to do it until next next year. So, or next Thanksgiving. So look forward to that next Thanksgiving because I'm probably going to refuse to talk about Steven Crowder until next Thanksgiving. Dr. Proudman is still embarrassing herself. And here's the thing. She's been going on about Andrew Tate, right? The problem, and most of what she has to say about it is not wrong. The problem is she keeps trying to lump Amber Heard into extra shit, and she keeps trying to sensationalize nonsense. So, Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear said some shit about, I think, Meghan Markle, about how he thinks she's a bad person, and he looks forward to the day that she's drug out in the street naked and had shit thrown at her, right? An aggressive thing to say. Very flowery language, you might say. But he wasn't being literal. And so they're sensationalizing it as if this is some kind of sexual fetish that he's into and that he was being literal or being like there's no room. And so I guess there's a discussion you could have about whether or not there is room for aggressive allegory in an op-ed or in an article that you're writing as a guest writer or something like that. And there's a conversation to be had about that. It was American Thanksgiving, so I'll probably do it again on American Thanksgiving. But I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about that sometime. I feel like there are discussions to be had about that and what is and is not appropriate and what you ought to and ought not to. But the thing is it really is just going to depend on the person. And people, I'm not going to say that people shouldn't have backlash or shouldn't disagree with what Jeremy Clarkson said, because it's very rhetorical. But at the same time, why do you care? Right? Like, why are you this offended and this upset about what is clearly rhetorical language? And why are you taking it literally? Because it is clearly not the intention. It is not literal. There is no threat that this woman is going to get literally drug out in the street naked and had shit thrown at her. That is not the case. Now, you might disagree with the sentiment, like, no, I disagree in that I don't think that she deserves that because I don't think whatever she's doing is wrong. And that's fine, then engage in that. But to engage in this sensationalizing of something that, in a way that is just trying to make a bad guy to then justify other shit, address the point. There's a difference between tone policing and using somebody's tone to deflect what the point they're making is versus being spoken to with respect or disrespect, right? So if I say, hey, I don't like that you're talking to me that way, that's not ignoring your point, that's addressing a different thing, right? And that's fine. There's also to say whether or not it's appropriate for somebody to say one thing or another in a certain way, or hearing the way somebody's trying to say something and picking up on tone in their communication. Picking up tone and communication is not tone policing. Saying, hey, this person is presenting this way, they're being dismissive, and here's why they're being dismissive, or they're being condescending. And picking on that tone is not tone policing. It doesn't mean you can't be condescending. It means that it's a fact that you're being condescending, or it's an interpretation that you're being condescending, right? So, yeah, here's what you don't understand. Yeah. There's a long list of things I don't understand, I assure you. I am not a smart person. And again, there's a difference between picking up on somebody's tone and commenting on it versus tone policing, right? Somebody can be an asshole and still make a good point, but you can address both. You can say, hey, here's a point, here's a debunk of your point, and you're being an asshole. You can do both things. So you can... Calling somebody out for being an asshole isn't tone policing, and I think those things get confused. Maybe I should write a script about that, but I do like having lots of smart people. I am curious to see what happens with this, see, my hair's still a little bit okay here. It needs a little bit of a trim, but it's still a little bit under control. I'm curious to see what happens with Stanford and this lawsuit. There hasn't been an update yet. This was only a month ago, so lawsuits take time, as we are all well aware. So I am gonna try and keep up with this one because I think I may think the Michelle Dauber lawsuit is going to be something that matters. So I do try to cover things that are not necessarily sensationalized, but things that I think probably matter. So I thought the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation and lawsuit mattered. Otherwise, I wouldn't have covered it. Yeah, I'd love to have Mika on to talk about that. I want to have Mika on to talk about Jordan Peterson because you want to talk about somebody who like uses rhetoric in really specific ways to incite very specific responses. That Jordan Peterson is a really good example, and it would be fun to be two Canadians harping on a Canadian. um, this was our atheist communities, and sadly, we didn't end up having John joining us. We ended up with Barry joining us instead, which was wonderful. I love having Barry on. Barry is great. But for the next one, because we got Barry instead of John, I'm gonna invite Barry and hopefully get John. So let's see what happens. This stream with Vandalia. I have thoughts, feelings, and concerns about it in general. I've been holding on to that because I want to see how he does and what he ends up doing and seeing how things kind of go. Sadly, this got demonetized because I played the video that he hadn't watched at the very beginning, and it has that Kill Bill, and it picks up on the Kill Bill, so yeah, it is. But boy, was that and something. How it was something. I don't know. There there were some things that I did that maybe I should have picked out and didn't. Or maybe there were some things that I did pick out and I shouldn't have. I'm I'm not I'm not sure. I'm not. I mean, I was pretty happy with the way the Gary stream went. The Gary stream went exactly as I intended and exactly the way I thought it was going to go. And it was just really long. But I that was also long on purpose because it really did drive the point home. But this one I have mixed feelings about. I think there were things about it that were good. But I also think there were things about it that I was trying to ride a line, and hopefully I succeeded in still like being like, no, we have to like being stern, but as well as be I didn't want to coddle him, but I did want to reassure him. And so I was riding this line between coddling and reassuring because it's like, listen, nobody's mad at you, you're not getting canceled, nobody's yelling at you, it's okay, but you need to you need to address this point. Right? So, because coddling would mean, oh no, baby, it's okay. You don't have to do anything. No, God, that wasn't I didn't want that. So hopefully it came across right, and I managed to get it. The one thing that I did note from this stream that I didn't say live, I never got an apology in that stream. There is no actual apology that took place in that stream, which I thought was interesting, right? I noted that, and I noticed that. I wonder if anybody else noticed. But I mean, again, I'm not interested in starting shit. But I noticed that, and that was like, okay. Again, I'm not asking for one, but I thought it was noteworthy. But so we got more with the Atheist Alliance International. More Pele, hell yeah. Yeah, this woman. Who isn't she gone off of Twitter again now for now? I think it's interesting if you're going to be a reporter for like tech news and culture news to not be on Twitter. But at the same time, Kat, in my opinion, is trying to be like, she wants to have the credibility of a journalist, but the notoriety and the well behaving like an influencer. Right? Um, talking about Mosey, this was interesting, and I did get some feedback saying that there wasn't really a guy's perspective on here, and I was like, that's fair. I'd be curious to know if there are any men that had read this or saw this and had more to add or disagreed with us about something. So yeah, if you're a dude out there and you watched this and you disagree or have more to add about this Mosey situation, please feel free to reach out to me because I think that would be really valuable and interesting to hear about. So I'd love to have you on and talk about it. Um, if Chesh was a teacher, she'll be asked for a hall pass and why she's out of class every time another teacher sees her. Yes. Correct. Twitter Omnibus was fun. And I like this style. So I think this Tuesday stream will remain the way this Twitter Omnibus style was. So like what we're doing right now, this Tuesdays will remain more chatty like this because I do enjoy these. Um, Aliens in Antarctica was hella fun. I definitely recommend watching it. We're doing another one. It's not the History Channel, but we're doing another one of these tomorrow, so please join us for that. That'll be a lot of fun. John Richards is a piece of shit. That hasn't changed. Vic Mignogna is still embarrassing himself on the internet. Another Tavern is coming on Saturday, so look out for that. This is Thorn. So Thorn is going to be joining us, who I talked about before. This is when she's going to be joining us. It will be the Friday the 13th of this month. We're going to talk about King Crocoduck and what the fuck. I am also hopefully getting in contact with a social scientist, somebody who does social studies, to talk to us a little bit more also about some of the stuff that Crocoduck said because he made some interesting takes, and they kind of devolved into some yikes things. Interestingly enough, I have never seen Crocoduck so stimulated to get onto a channel because he was like, "You want me to come on stream? I'll come on stream. I just want to make sure, like, I'm worried about getting taken out of context." Da 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 da. And I'm like, these are reasonable fears. I understand that. But I had never seen him so gung ho about getting onto a channel. I I want to do him justice. I want to make sure that I don't take anything that he says out of context. I will do everything in my power to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then, depending on how that goes and how my conversation with the social science person goes, perhaps maybe the social scientist and Crocoduck can get into a call and maybe hash some of this out. Or maybe I'll be able to have Crocoduck on in the future after kind of getting that information for myself and to you guys as well, that he can come on and we'll have a chat. But we'll see. I think it'd be a good debate hub topic. It'd be valuable. We'll see where it goes. I'm working on stuff in the background basically to do a little bit more with that because boy did that Twitter thread just devolve. The thing I think was kind of bad about it. There's only two real takes that I had to take away from it. Was that it got to a point where it devolved where he was then purposefully just putting stuff out to make people mad, but like just to try to like trigger a response. Like he started trolling. But there was another point that was like, you started the conversation by being an asshole on purpose, knowing you were being an asshole, and then got mad when people said you were being an asshole. And it's like, you can't. Why are you were an asshole on purpose, and now you're surprised and upset that people said you were being an asshole. I don't understand. Yeah, oh yeah, that Undoomed thing happened. That was, ugh. Oh my god, like, why would you say something so awful to somebody who's got a sick pet? Ugh. On the other hand, Emmanuel, the emu, is recovering and has, I almost fully recovered from my understanding, so hooray! The emu lives! um, I just don't understand. Okay, here's the thing. There's a point on the internet where you play an asshole, right? You can be the asshole online. But you can't be the asshole online and then get mad when people and try to defend yourself and say you're not the asshole when you're being the asshole. Like, you're playing this character. You're saying, hey, I don't give a shit. I'm the asshole on the internet. What are you going to do about it? And then when somebody says, wow, you're an asshole, you go, well, no, I'm not. I'm not an asshole. Like, no, you have to own it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want to be the asshole on the internet, be the asshole on the internet. And when people say, hey, you're being an asshole, you go, yeah. Yep. Or you just don't. You own it. You don't get. Why would you get defensive? What are you defending yourself from? The thing that you decided to do on purpose? Like, you knew. You didn't be an asshole on accident. You decided to be an asshole, and that's your persona online. If your persona online is being an asshole, it's really, really weird when you're like, but I'm not an asshole. No, I'm not the asshole here. You're the asshole here. Like, what do you mean? If somebody says, wow, that was a really shitty thing to say, you go, whoa. You don't say, oh, well, why was it shitty? What do you mean? I'm just telling the truth. No, you say nothing because they're right. Because you did it on purpose. Or you say, yeah, I'm being aggressive. I don't know. I don't get it. People said that I was an asshole to Bill Ludlow, and I agree with them. Yes, I was being an asshole on purpose. He was doing some wishy-washy bullshit, and I said, pick a lane. And he did. Simple as that. It was 100% intentional. But I don't sit there and defend myself and say, no, I wasn't being an asshole. No, I was. I was absolutely being an asshole. 100%. The question is like, if you wanted to have a discussion about that, it would be whether or not I was justified in being an asshole or not. And at the end of the day, his response, in my opinion, justified my being a dick. Because he could have responded by saying, wow, what the fuck? Like, I'm just disagreeing with my friend here. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, there's no need for this. That would have been a really smart response. He didn't. He was an asshole, which justified me being the asshole, right? Because that's how it works, interestingly enough. So, he did something assholey, I did something assholey, and instead of being like, hey, what the fuck, he decided to double down on being an asshole. So it's like, so, as far as I'm concerned, I was justified. But that's a discussion you could have. You could debate that back and forth. I don't know if there's any value in having that debate at this point. But I don't defend myself and say I wasn't an asshole. Rez says the worst thing about Crocoduck's take on sex work is that they were bog standard, childish, conservative takes, and thus were not only wrong but boring too. Yeah, there was some of the stuff that Crocoduck was saying was just okay. So, I mean, we'll get to it. We'll talk about it more during this video. But one of the things that started this conversation was there was a bit of a problem in terminology because he used the term sex work as a really, really big umbrella term that ended up covering like a lot of different things to the point where it became vague and unclear about what constituted sex work. Does taking pictures of my feet count as sex work? Does it count as sex work if somebody faps to me? Period. Because then a regular actor or actress or a model on Vogue could be considered sex work. Sex sells. So if you're using your sexuality to sell something, or being sexy to sell something, does that count as sex? Like, it was just a really, really broad term, and it moved. There was another thing that I noticed that I was like, The first one just used sex workers in general, and then later on specified women. And so it's like, So you're talking about women in sex work. I see. Curious. Very, very curious. Um, we'll get into it more and kind of see where that thread went, because boy did that evolve. This is the stream coming up that we'll have. This will be on the 10th. This is Bent, Cindy, and Sal are going to be coming on, and they're going to give us a Christian's take on the atheist communities and what works and what doesn't, and what they like, what they don't like, and what direction or what atheist communities might be able to. Basically, it's going to be constructive criticism and maybe just some shit talking, which I am totally down for. Having Rustam on was incredible. There was a little bit of a lag problem, but that tends to be what happened. We ended up having to use Discord, and the layout looks a little bit differently because I was struggling with getting vMix to get the audio through for reasons. I don't know why it was giving me trouble. I still haven't figured that out because I've done it with Discord where it went through fine before, but for whatever reason I was having trouble with this one. I was doing something wrong, and I didn't have enough time to fix it because he ended up coming in on a phone. That's why we ended up going through Discord instead of just regular going through vMix. But we, what a fantastic conversation, and I absolutely want him to come back. I'm still in touch with him. He is a lot of fun. He is super funny. And I look forward, I want to have him on to just talk about like the ethics of journalism, and sort of like maybe take a look at mainstream media organizations and what they look like in India, and what he would change there, and what the ethics are where he's from, and kind of what the ethics are here, and what works and what doesn't, and like just do like kind of a global chat. I'm not sure what Rez is saying to this, if it's Mr. Serious or if it's to Feline, so I'm just gonna read out all 3 comments. Mr. Serious said, "Okay, yeah, I can talk about Mosey if you want. It might be old news by now, but I don't like guys who stomp all over everyone's boundaries as if it's no big deal." Yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. Vic is a sex worker in every live chat he gets into. You mean Vic Magnana, yeah. And Tree Feline said, Chesh, and went even further, such as, quote, "If you're selling yourself, you're bad," or something along those lines. Getting a job, any job, is also selling yourself, selling your body for labor. Yeah, I think Rez was talking about that. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit more on the 13th. Because I brought in somebody who does sex work. So, because of course, let's talk to a professional, somebody who is highly educated in the field that we're talking in. Imagine that. What a concept. We're also going to talk about social sciences, because he said, well, one thing that's worse than sex work is social science. And it's very bizarre to me to see somebody as well lauded as Crocoduck shitting on other sciences in the way that he was. Disappointing for me personally, but we'll see. I'm pulling in some professionals so we can actually take a look at and get a good spread of information in those fields. All right, so we'll see. We'll get to it, and then we'll see if he has a response to it. And these things say, one of the nice things that I enjoy about Debate Hub is it is not as contentious as most, like, it's not a debate me bro place. I'm not interested in having Crocoduck come on and slug it out. What I'm interested in is getting a professional in sex work on, getting a professional in social sciences to come on and take a look at what he had to say, and then bring him on to talk, because he's now said shit. Let's address what he has to say with some professionals. Then we'll bring him on to see what he thinks and if he's interested. If he's not interested, or it's not going to be productive, I don't think there's much of a point. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Dumpfic Friday. This one is not until the 20th, but this is going to be Jesse and Laura, and you guys are not ready. You guys are not ready. The quote that this guy is saying in that screenshot, he literally said that. Where is the mechanic for I wreck your culture? This is gonna be absolute nonsense. Where we've got a video that we're gonna look at. This is gonna be hella fun, and I'm super excited for it. January is almost completely booked all the way up. It is booked up as it possibly can be. It is full, and it's just got a couple of floaty days because you need floaty days to deal with the things that are happening in the world that you feel like addressing this week. You gotta leave a couple of days open. So I'm booked, and I am now starting to schedule for February. After this, I'm going to be going over to Dapper Dino's channel as well as going through my emails because I have to get back to a couple of people because I have a couple of more standard debates to set up from the looks of things. And I'm super duper excited. I think 2023 is going to be... I look forward to, I think, what will end up being a lot of growth on this channel, mostly thanks to you guys. Again, it only exists. Debate Hub only exists because you guys manifested destiny. So we'll be doing that. Art will be on Thursdays. Geneva Convention, more like Geneva Suggestion. Oh boy, this is gonna be a good time. So, we've come a long way. We've come a long way in just a year. Between moving, between the debacle, between... Fucking... Oh, I cannot believe Chris fucking said that shit to me. Like, fucking wow. I tweeted out when it happened, like, it blew my brain, because I didn't tweet out who had said it, or I didn't screenshot the conversation, but basically it was... I said, listen, I'm not interested in... Because I said this publicly, I'm like, I'm not interested in, like, rectifying or building bridges here or fixing anything, but you've made a really good point, and I think that point deserves to be acknowledged, because he was making good points about Atheist Alliance International. And instead of taking that for what it was, completely ignored what I had said about not wanting to be friendly with each other, took that as an opportunity, or read that as some kind of invitation to slide into my DMs. I don't know what part of I'm not interested in talking to you comes off as come talk to me in private. Am I stupid? Is it me? Am I the dumb one? Am I the problem? Is it me? I think it might be me. I gotta turn a light on. It got dark in here. It's winter in Canada. I don't know. I just don't know what about that. What was Mika's request at the start of the stream? I missed it. What was it? I've forgotten already. I just don't know what about that was what any kind of invitation of what I had fucking said. But on the other hand, this man slides into my DMs and he says, hold on, let me double check to make sure I get it right, because I'm not gonna show you guys the whole conversation because it doesn't really matter. But I'm just gonna get the gist of it. Where is it? It should be pretty far down. Yeah, okay. Basically, he says that he didn't realize we had any kind of issues, and then said that, but he defended me from something, and I'm like, what? Who the fuck? Well, first off, I don't fucking ask you to defend me. I don't give a shit. Did you? I don't fucking care. And then, oh, checking up on. Okay, yeah, we can do that. So I'm like, I don't give a shit. And he sends me like this fucking paragraph. And my response was, you tried to ruin my life and all the work that I did for 3 years on NSS, because that contract was written by him. He wrote that contract. That bullshit contract. You guys remember that bullshit contract when shit was blowing up with Steve? And that did you guys see the mediation meeting where this mediator, who is a professional mediator apparently, went into a mediation having already heard out one side? And then after that mediation meeting, sent me this fucking contract? Yeah, the contract you shredded, Feline, the one covered in red. Right? Like that. So, we got off of the mediation call, and what he said was that he was going to have a call and talk with Steve, and then have a call and talk with me, separately so that way we can work on this. And if you recall, at the end of that mediation meeting, the end of the mediation meeting was, I want extrication. Steve saying, I want extrication. So immediately after that mediation meeting, he gets into a call with Steve, builds this fucking contract whenever he did that, whether it was on call with Steve or not or whatever. He already had sent it with, I do know he reviewed it with Steve before he sent it to me, because that's what he told me. He said, oh, Steve has some adjustments that I think will be better for you, but here's a contract. You tell me how mediation that is, how medium that is, how you've definitely heard out both sides, and how you're a professional in this field. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're fucking kidding me, right? So you sent me all this, set me the fuck up, helped Steve try to take advantage of me on more than one occasion during this situation, tried to throw a bunch of blame onto Manya for shit she didn't do, and he knows she didn't do, to then allow Steve and justify Steve breaking the mortuarium, which was the agreement that we had to not talk about this shit, well, and just completely just be fine with Steve going into the background and trying to ruin my reputation and slander me behind closed doors by saying I was fucking blackmailing him and bullshitting about that, and then turn around and say, like, that I'm doing anything at all, which I was not doing, and completely also ignore that my contract, which did include extrication, which was protected by the mortuarium, which did have shit signed off on it saying that it was intended for negotiation purposes only, that Steve blasted and put out, which would have been against the mortuarium. So you tell me how fucking neutral and how mediatorly you are. And now, oh, I didn't think we had a problem. I defended you. Defended me from what? Somebody going around and saying that I went into negotiation with a plan that would come out, that would have a positive outcome for me? Wow, who'd have thought? What the fuck is a negotiation other than going into discussion with the intention of getting the best that you can get out of that negotiation? What the fuck? Everybody knows this. All of the mods, everybody who was a mod who was in that fucking call, everybody who was a mod for NSS, everybody who did all of the fucking community work, left. They're gone. None of them are on NSS anymore. Surprise, surprise. And where did they all go? Oh, look. They're in my fucking chat. They all knew what I was doing. Everybody knew what was going on. There is no surprise that I fucking went into a goddamn... Oh, memorandum, sorry. Whatever the fuck the agreement's called, I've forgotten. But the point being... Anyway, besides the fact that I'm stupid, is that there's no... In no world was Chris neutral. In no world was Chris a good mediator at all. And in no world should he think that we're fine and okay at all. Period. Anyway, I thought that was a really stupid fucking thing to say. And so I just said that, not as long-winded. I was just like, bro, because I didn't make beef with him. Like, I didn't go and talk about this anywhere. I talked about the Hadozi thing, but I didn't name him because I was being a nice guy and not bringing it up and being like, listen, I'm not going to bring shade on this guy. I know he's just fucking helping Steve out, whatever. Being a buddy. But he's being a buddy while pretending to be a neutral party and trying to fuck me. Motherfucker. Ass. Anyway, his response is what pissed me off. I was this close. I almost blasted it. I almost, like, just immediately hit the go live button and been like, are you seeing this fucking shit? I didn't. I have self-control. I didn't do it. live when you're angry is dangerous. Oh, I was so pissed. I was in the Discord, like, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna lose it, man! Because his response to me after I was like, you assisted and attempted to ruin my work and 3 years of my life and my future that I had invested all of this work and time and energy into. You were part of that. And you enabled Steve. Now, I'm not going to blame Chris for things Steve did. That's Steve's fault. But I am going to criticize and not be okay with Chris for what Chris did. Right? Like, don't come to me pretending you're neutral. Because I was on a high alert as soon as that mediator called. I mean, you all saw it. The mediator called out there. You can find it if you want. If you happen to remember. I went into that being like, okay, well, because initially I was tentative about going in. But I was assured that, no, Chris would be good. He hasn't listened to anybody. He's gonna hear both of you out right there. That'll be the first time he knows what's going on. And the first thing out of his mouth was, so I've talked to Steve. Immediately done. I was already like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go through the rest of this and see where it's going and see what's going on. But he tried to convince me not to record it. He tried to convince me to, like, sign this, wrote this fucking bullshit contract, which would, by all accounts, be fucking illegal, and tried to present it as an authority that this was a totally normal contract and would be expected, and this is actually good for you. Like, fuck you, dude. You wouldn't sign this fucking thing. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, his response to me saying that, because I didn't explain how, because I really shouldn't have to sit down and explain to this man the thing that he did, that he knows that he did, or attempted to do. His response was, sorry you feel that way, I'll leave you alone. Sorry I feel that way? Bro, these are facts. This isn't, I have feelings. The feeling is I don't like you. The reason is the fact that you tried to fuck me. Sorry you're mad I tried to fuck you over. You tried to ruin my life. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. You dismissive, arrogant prick. Fucking wow. And here I was trying to be nice. My mistake. My bad. By the way, if any of you remember what Chris did when the mediation call went live, when that got put out, and people were like, bro, what the fuck? And people were going to Chris because Steve was telling people to go to Chris. Steve was going around being like, oh, Chris said this, and Chris said what she was doing or what she was saying was absurd and ridiculous. Well, that's interesting because Chris never said those things to me. But Chris also didn't say that he never did. He did when he says, I defended you, at no point did he ever say that what Steve was saying was incorrect and that Steve should not have been sending people to go talk to Chris because that's wholly inappropriate, especially while negotiations were still going on. So no, Chris didn't give a shit. You know what he did? Oh, I don't want people to talk, like, I don't want to get bogged down by this drama. Like, bitch, you walked in here. Are you telling me you didn't know what you were getting into? I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. Because if you didn't know what you were getting into, because Steve didn't fucking tell you what the fuck you were getting into. So then maybe you should reconsider your position. Sorry you feel that way. I never did go through the contract on stream, no. I don't think I don't know if there's any value in going through that contract on stream. If there's value, like, you know what, you guys tell me. If you guys want to see it and want to step-by-step it, we can, but I'm one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this and what had gone on and look back at the year and see where we started, as in with like the big NSS blow up, is because I really don't want to have to talk about I don't want to have to talk about it this year if I can avoid it. Um the value is in the ranting. There are some things that I think matter and some things that don't. Chris, like a couple weeks ago, deciding he thinks he can slide into my DMs like he's fucking dick is made of gold and spits diamonds. Like he's got any, like, the thing is that this the entitlement that this man has to think that he has any value or provides any value to me in any way just by just existing is flat out bizarre. Like just strange. Like I just said I'm not interested in talking to you when you saw that as an opportunity to arrogantly slide into my, yeah, this was a couple weeks ago, to slide into my DMs like I fucking give a shit. As I just said, I'm not interested. Well, hey, I defended you though. Oh, my hero, you did such a good job defending me because I needed it that I didn't even fucking notice. Good job, champ. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you for defending me against that thing I didn't need defending against. Instead of, maybe speaking up and defending yourself against the shit Steve was saying that you were saying. But that was all drama, right? Because it was just you attempting to ruin my life. The only DMs I want from Chris or from Chesh are puck picks. That's fair. That's fair. Puck is pretty great. Let me see how long ago it was actually. Let me take a look. December 12th was the last message. And to be fair, his last message was, "I'll leave you alone." It was a very concise and precise way of, because I did say, like, you tried to ruin my life, but instead of defending himself, which would have been a worse move, he decided to dismiss it outright. Because he wanted to just say one last fuck you on his way out the door. Like, oh, okay. Okay, so you feel that way. Red says Chris was careless and clueless. I was disappointed because I thought he'd be professional at the very least. Turns out his idea of professional was the opposite instead. And here's the thing. Supposedly, according to Chris and to Steve, because Steve has said this publicly already, mediation is Chris's job. Like, that's the thing he does in his real life. Like, this is something that he works on. It would really fucking suck for Chris, which is probably one of the reasons why he didn't want things recorded, and why he didn't want shit to get out there, and why he tried to squash it immediately, and why he called it all drama and refused to talk about it when it was going down, is because he didn't want his horrendous work, in which he was presenting himself as a professional in the field, to make its way into his real life. And maybe you should make better life choices then. Maybe if you don't want your professional life and your online life crossing, you shouldn't present yourself in a situation like that. Or maybe you should do a better job at your actual job, if that is even what you do. Sorry you feel that way. Real sorry. It really sucks that you feel bad because you're a piece of shit. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And he's got a better reputation than that, which is kind of sucks to be him, I guess, because, like, me talking about this kind of shit, if it gets around, is not going to be good for his reputation. Because reputation isn't who you are, it's just the way people view you. When I watched that stream, I thought Chris couldn't mediate his way out of a paper bag. Yeah, fair. The thing is like there was never really gonna. I know Steve. There is no negotiating with Steve. There is pestering him until he learns. That's it. There is no reasoning your way around Steve. You just have to keep showing him he's wrong over and over and over again. And even then, he won't really change his mind. Because as soon as he doesn't like you anymore, it'll flip. He'll flip right back. Because everything, because there is no gray. It's only white and black. Right? There is no gray area where somebody that you don't like could be right about something. Which is just not true. Well, the first mediation call had Dapper and Manya in it, and Chris is basically not letting anybody participate. Like 3 weeks ago, yeah. When it mattered, he said he didn't want to get bogged down. Yes. Yeah. Right, Al makes a really good point. So yeah, Mika said she wanted to see non sequitur. So let's take a look. Let's take the opportunity, because I don't want to have to talk about this fucking ever again. So let's take the chance while we have it to take a look at NSS and see where it's at. See where it's gone. So here's NSS. It's at 29.5. So it's never recovered to that over that 30K that it was at. Let's take a look at live streams. These thumbnails are a case study in horrible. Like, you could put these thumbnails in a textbook. I couldn't purposefully make a thumbnail this bad. They're... Miko, why did you make me look at this? Why have you done this to me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7. There's minimum 5 different fonts. 5 different fonts on this debate video. 5. Oh no. This weird non sequitur, it's too dark. If it makes you feel any better, there's only 3 different ones on the death and dying one. One, 2, 3, 4 on this one. This one's a little bit better, but like, what is this like hanging person? What is that? No. Oh no. Why are you... I don't... What? The highest stream... What? What? Debate, should Red's rhetoric be Christian? What? What? I mean, it would match with his views on women, but... But... What is he talking about? What is this? Oh, no, Landon. My boy, I can't let you on a thumbnail that looks like this. Oh my god. Is that Noah's Ark floating in space beside some DNA? Oh no. beliefs of sovereign citizens with potentially criminal. So it's hard for me to point at what I'm talking about. The title of the stream, all you'd have to do is like tip it a little bit and twist it so it will look like it was on the billboard, and then match because the billboard, that font is impact. So you change the title of the screen to impact, and then just say the beliefs of sovereign citizen, because you don't need to have the title of the stream in the thumbnail, because the title of the stream is the beliefs of sovereign citizens with potentially criminal, but then the thumbnail also says the beliefs of sovereign citizens with potentially criminal. So what you do is you take out just change that either to the beliefs of sovereign citizens, or you change that to what a belief of a sovereign citizen might be, and then you take out the font, because you can see the font underneath that's on the sign below the text, and you make that white so you can't see the font below, because that's just lazy, and then put whatever you want there, and you use impact, and you use probably, I mean, you can color pick it's probably black, but it's not going to show up black because it's outside. So what you would do is you would color pick and then put a gradient on it to make it look like it's actually just part of the sign. And for the love of God, could you please get a better fucking... Just make one, dude. You're cutting out the non sequitur show and the never follow, and you've got a cutout that you've saved, and you just keep posting that. Make a new one so that way you can post it the way you want, and make sure the font matches. My God. These are so bad. Yeah, why would you have a debate on such an individualistic thing? Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, I missed what Feline was saying, but Reza said I agree with Feline. Steve was just looking for a way out of his obligation to Chesh, his business partner. And the easiest way to do that was to get a partial mediator in his favor. I didn't see what Feline said, but yeah, probably. Oh God, it's just so ugly. What is it? I won $115,000. Oh, this is the Kyle Curtis. Yeah, it's 5 months ago. Oh, good. So you have $15,000, meaning you shouldn't have a problem paying me for my work for the past 3 years. Wow. Amazing. Hey, how's Ruhif doing, by the way? How much money do you owe him to? You know what's funny? The thing he was all bent out of shape about, like the amount of money we were talking about was like $100. If you guys watched the talk between everybody on the Discord, it was like $100 or so. Also, Ben, the drunken peasants were so kind to me. Like, that was real mediation, because they talked to Steve and me before bringing anybody on, and they offered to bring Steve on. Steve just refused, which is weird because he's friends with Ben. But it's not weird because it makes complete sense because of the situation. But they went and talked to both of us individually before they moved forward with any kind of stream. They were so lovely. I really greatly appreciated them and them hearing me out. Whether they agreed with me or not, just being... Because, I mean, I chose to go on Drunken Peasants to have that conversation because I knew that they would inherently be on Steve's side out the gate because they were already friends with Steve. They knew me through Steve. So I thought that Drunken Peasants would make a really good and fine neutral ground where I could say my side and go, and Steve could come on and say his side and go, and the peasants would treat us fairly and treat us equally, right? He just decided not to, because it was a good way to avoid beef. And to be fair, he also has done something really stupid, and he's never talked about why I was gone or what had happened on the Non Sequitur show. Even Kyle knew that he had to address why Steve was suddenly not there anymore. And not doing that is a big fucking detriment to the channel in general, but not that that matters, the channel's gone to shit. Oh God, what the fuck is this? Amber Heard? Yeah, potentially criminal on twice. King Crocoduck. We'll be talking about him. We'll see how that goes. Didn't Steve say that G-Man would never be on Non Sequitur, and then Kyle brought G-Man on as soon as Steve was gone, and then as soon as Steve got the channel back, he put G-Man on? What the fuck? Still talking about fucking Bev? Yeesh. Didn't they say that they weren't gonna do Flat Earth stuff? Yeah, whatever. Oh, there's Undoomed. I've been debating on reaching out to Silverman and bringing him on because he's coming back now, and I've been debating, but I don't know what I would necessarily talk to him about. Debate: Is Christianity a logical worldview? What? Oh, hey, look, Aaron. Hey, there's that fucking little dude again. What is this little dude? So, oh look, there's me. Now he tried to copy me here. Did such a really, like, what is this font? So bad. You can see where I was making thumbnails. The change is very drastic. I even specifically talked about picking out a font and what font we wanted to use. So, like, all the fonts are consistent. It was Cambria, by the way, for anybody who cares. The little Non Sequitur Show logo is gone. I mean, that makes sense, because I'm the one who made it, and he never paid me for it. So he thinks that if he doesn't use it now, he doesn't have to pay me. To be fair, he also doesn't own it, because he never paid me, so he can't use it. That's a lot of pre-production down the drain. This, for some reason, I don't know if I can get, like, a zoomed in of this. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me zoom this in real quick. This one right here. Where'd it go? Hold on. This first stream. This one right. I don't know if you can see that, but right underneath the yellow, it says something about somebody's wedding anniversary. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Whoop. Anyway, that's where the Non Sequitur show's at and where it's been. I'm not sure how the comments are. Like, we could look and see what it actually looks like. Well, he's using the great debate community thing right at the beginning, so that's already a yikes. Why? Why? Also, why can I see that? Whatever, I'm nitpicking. Oh, God. Oh, I wonder which Chris that is. Well, there's AT2 Productions because bros before hoes. Who would want to care and do the right thing about people? Something about that missing money, about that Katie Joy thing. You would think. But what the fuck am I looking at? Oh my god. The view count's wildly inconsistent. They're also very low for a channel that almost has 3K subscribers. But, like, you've got 10 why would you put that? What is this shit in the corner? These aren't even the same. They're not. Oh. Transparent chat box is not legible yet. This is so bad. Why do you have these if you're gonna have this? Just get rid of this or move this over here. What are these? What are those? This is part 2 of 10 reasons why Christianity is false. Open panel. Are those the 10 reasons? Yikes. What's this one? It's really too bad because the opening is so good. One thing that is, oh hey, there it is. One thing that's been a mainstay is the little logo that represents, you can't really see it right now because it's cut off for you guys. There we go. That little logo, that bull logo in the corner, I'm the one who put that there. I'm the one who changed the icon. Oh. What is this? What is this? Do you have a Budweiser thing that's getting you money? Because why would you put this here? Do you have any affiliation with Budweiser at all? I think that's supposed to be a pine tree and an elephant in the corner. Yeah, are we in 2023? All of the stuff that happened with Non Sequitur Show and the thing that the claim to fame of Non-Sec is now just pine trees and elephants, and that's the only thing we're holding on to? What is this? I think this is supposed to be the lights that come down where the people are supposed to be standing, but he's got it covered with there's no video on this. There's no video. Why are you on video? Why isn't this like a podcast? I don't understand. Chesh 2022 with graphics like 2012 or 2002. Yeah. Non sequitur show, non sequitur show, non sequitur show, non sequitur show, non sequitur show. What? At least somebody's giving him money. Jesus. Well, Kyle did better graphics. Yes, Kyle did do better graphics. This is so bad. I wonder. Whoops. Let's take a look. Well, at least he's still getting positives. Give him that much. Oh wow, I wonder what this was. Plus 12,000 subscribers, down, or plus 1,200 subscribers, down 1,200 subscribers. That's January 22nd. This is February. I wonder what happened between point A of January when the show came back and February. Did I do that? No, I didn't. Steve did that. I heard recently that some people were giving me credit for Steve's downfall, I guess. And you know, as much as I appreciate the acknowledgement, Steve's responsible for Steve. Steve didn't have to do any. Just not was always an option. So Al says I don't understand what the point of 3 channels that all do extremely similar content. What is the point? Yeah, I mean, I would be curious to see an analysis by somebody else, not me, because if I just do analysis, it just looks petty. So it's not really worthwhile for me. But why would Chesh do this? Yeah, I also heard he had Hall. What's his name? Atheist Edge. Something Hall. I've forgotten his name. Gym. Gym Hall on immediately after I was gone. So I left under extreme conditions, not really of my own volition, but because I was forced out. And then Steve immediately brought on the guy who's actively been threatening me. Cool. Good shit. Um, but I wouldn't like, it'd be interesting to see somebody do like an analysis of like, because we've got the Great Debate community, Steve's standard channel, and then Non Sequitur Show, and like find the difference, spot the difference game. But whatever, that's enough shit talking. I think there's nothing that needs to be said. This right here. What else is there to say? The quality of the difference between the production, as well as the thumbnails, as well as just the numbers and the topics, like and the guests. You can make your own judgments. You don't need me to sit here and shit talk. It all speaks for itself. So before I end, this hasn't been updated. Actually, it probably has been. I think that's the one that's being used right now. He's still using Kyle's artwork because he owns that, and he knows he doesn't own mine, and he doesn't own mine because he never paid for it. Is that really all you need to know about whether or not Steve actually paid me for my work? Because I know he tries to tell people he did. If he did, then he should be able to use the artwork. How does your channel graph look after February? Oh, probably not great, to be honest. But we can go look. The hell's my channel name? Hey, how am I also at a C+? Oh, fuck. Da, 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 da. Oh, hey, mine are all positive too. Oh, yay me. Except this one -10 here. I imagine this is the new year rolling over and YouTube doing its clear out thing. Mine's all over the fucking place. There's January. December. That's this one. 110. It's not a huge spike. It makes sense. I expected my channel to lose and then start growing again. I expected it to lose for about a year, maybe a year and a half, depending on Sly. Yeah, hell yeah, Sly. I'll look. Sly, when are you coming on? Sly, when are you coming on? Sly, when are you coming on? When are you coming on? Hey, you're a C plus too. Aw. Oh, your earnings suck. Like mine are bad, but that's bad. Hey, you got all pluses down the board. Look at you. Hey, you didn't get that -10 that I got. What the fuck? Whoa! Pew! Hey, look, you're on an upward trend. Look at that. Yeah, before we move on and stop talking about this so we never have to talk about this ever again. Are there any more questions, or is there anything else you guys want me to look at or address? Because again, this is like sort of a catch-all. Let's talk about going into the new year. Try Mika. Oh, just all right. Let's see if it pops up. Select channel. Oh, there she is. Hey, I got it. First try, baby. This is Social Blade, so it's like semi-reliable. Mika's got some pretty cool looking art for her banner now. Really cool, right? That's some good looking art. And you know who paid me for it? Yeah, this is Social Blade. Yeah, that's pretty good. Hey, she got B minus. Look at that. Plus 100, plus 100. Nice. She's buying subs. Kidding. Kidding. Look at that. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Pew. Upward trends. Very nice. Good to see. Good to see. I'm just also looking at the super base numbers. I'm not like going through the whole thing because there's like future projections and shit like that, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder who did this good looking art. Man, I don't know, but they're pretty talented. They're pretty great. I think more people should hire them to do more art. It's pretty fab. So yeah, does anybody have any questions about either the debacle from last year or anything that's happening in the future? Because I just want to make sure like the air is cleared on everything that's gone on in the past little while, or if there's any more questions about like why I have a problem with whatever, like Chris and hereticals. I don't have a problem with everybody on hereticals, by the way. It's just Chris that is a sole. This is a Chris problem. So if you see other people on hereticals, I don't have an issue with any of them. You stole yours from Disney? Yeah, you careful stealing from Disney. Thought Friends didn't pay Friends. I know, right? I do give Friends discounts. If Friends ask me for art, I do give discounts. Do. Super based numbers. Yep. Based. What's my problem with Dr. Pepper? It tastes like ass. I hate Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is gross. If you like Dr. Pepper, we're not friends anymore. I do not. Yeah, I don't like Dr. Pepper. Every time I've had it, it just tastes like aspartame. It tastes like it's like drinking Diet Coke. Blech. 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 It's not good ass. It's bad ass. Yeah, see, I got it from my mom. She doesn't like Dr. Pepper either. It's hereditary. Of course I know what the taste of ass is. Who do you think I am? What do you have? No, listen, different ass has different flavors. Not all asses are the same, and some asses taste like Dr. Pepper. I don't remember the last time I had cherry Coke. I imagine I won't like it, but I don't remember the last time I had it, if ever. So I'm not sure. I just noticed my chair was actually not all the way up. There we go. Hi! I am now less of a tiny person, appearingly. Badass. Oh, god damn it! You got me! Ah, Alicia, you got me! I've actually been really enjoying having you in the Discord more often. It's been great. I'm very happy that your toddler was dancing to the art. Dr. Pepper tastes the same in Canada and in Germany. I don't know, good question. I don't know. I like ginger ale. Ginger ale's my go-to. Rodent. Oh no. Oh no. Of course this like just gets immediately out of hand. Why do I let you guys ask questions? German Dr. Pepper tastes strong in United States Dr. Pepper. I mean, I imagine that our Dr. Pepper in Canada is probably the same as Dr. Pepper in America. See? Ginger ale also hereditary. Never tried Canadian ass. Would you like to? Who drinks Fanta? Ugh. It's just sugar. It's just sugar in a liquid sugar. I I had a long time ago when Fanta like first sort of started making its appearance. I tried the blue Fanta, and I'm like, you guys remember that like blue raspberry bubble tape that's got like the white powder sugar on it? Do you know what that candy is? It's like like it's rolled up bubble tape. And it's like bubble gum. It tasted like the blue Fanta tasted like just drinking liquid that. And I was just like, yeah, I don't drink Coke. Once, that's not true. I drink Coke if I'm like out at the bar or like maybe Pepsi if I'm having like a rum and Coke. But I don't go out and buy Pepsi or Coke. I drink ginger ale. Orange Fanta is nasty. I'll take your word for it. I do like there's like an island soda, I think is what it's called. It's like a international brand. It's in the international section of the grocery store. So I don't know where it's from, but it's super good. And it's sweet, but it's not insanely sweet, and I think it uses sugar cane. It might use bamboo. I'm not sure. Have to look at it. I'll get some. I'll get some and show it to you guys on a Tuesday coming up. Betsy? I'll check. I don't know what Spetsy is. On April 11th, 2022, Andrew Tate's home was raided after Romanian police received a tip that an American woman was potentially being held there against her will, sparking an investigation into human trafficking. He was released after being interrogated by authorities. He later denied any wrongdoing, calling it a case of swatting. Tate was raised Christian, of course he was, and joined the Romanian Orthodox Church after moving to Romania. He previously tied 6,000 pounds, around 89,000 Romanian, to the church on a monthly basis and said, quote, "The Church of Romania is very powerful and I like having church friends, so I gave them a lot of money." That's how you make friends, by giving them money. What the fuck? When a video of him praying at a mosque in Dubai went viral in October of 2022, he announced on his Getty account that he had converted to Islam. Okay. Product of Coca-Cola. No, I've never had this. Mezzo mix? Yeah, no, never even heard of it. It's interesting though. See Twitter. I gotta look at Twitter? What's happening on Twitter? What is this? Sorry you feel that way. Ugh. 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 Disgusting. Disgusting. What am I looking for? I don't see anything on Twitter. I didn't get no Twitter DMs. Lied to me. Ah! One of the worst things I ever drank was, and I'm not kidding, peanut butter flavored vodka? I imagine, like, on its own, that would taste terrible. Like, absolutely awful. However, I might be willing to try it with chocolate vodka. Double chocolate vodka, super duper good. Got it for Christmas. Was delicious. Great mixer. So chocolate vodka and peanut butter vodka mixed together might be good, but just peanut butter vodka probably tastes terrible. I need to try it now. Somebody send me peanut butter vodka. I must try. By the way, there is a way to send me alcohol. You just have to get in touch with me. You can send me alcohol by ordering it online to the local LCBO, and then I can go and pick it up from there. Send me alcohol. Actually, to be fair, it would be really funny if people sent me some, like, crazy ass tasting alcohol. Send me the weirdest shit you can find. We'll drink it on stream. Drink it on Tuesdays. 100 proof root beer vodka is a wonderful. Root beer vodka sounds good, yeah. Peanut butter whiskey? I've never had that. I've had vanilla whiskey. Vanilla, it's called White Owl. Very good. Very good. Yeah, a Reese cup mixed drink would probably work. Like, if your boss is trying to get you to sell just peanut butter vodka shots, like, you're gonna sell them as, like, hey, this tastes like ass. It's funny. Give it to your friend. But, like, a birthday shot that's peanut butter chocolate, that'd be good. The only way I drink vanilla Coke is by putting spiced rum in regular Coke and making it taste like vanilla Coke. Kyrish. No, I've never had Kyrish. What's Kyrish? They stopped selling vanilla Coke here a long time ago, and now there's like only a couple of places. Specifically, if you're in Canada and you're looking for vanilla Coke, you need to go to a Dairy Mart, which is like basically a convenience store chain, and they're one of the only ones that still sell vanilla Coke. Oh, you just noticed our ads? These are advertisements for our friendly YouTube channels. If you're a friendly YouTube channel and would like to get yourself added, let me know, and I will consider it. German liqueur. Ooh, yum. Purple Death. Okay, hold on. What is this? What is this? Baking ingredient? Oh, what's it taste like? Okay, Purple Death. Let me just zoom this in a little bit. Here we go. An unusual, rough as guts aperitif that has the distinctive bouquet of horseshit and old tram tickets. It is best drunk with the teeth clenched to prevent ingestion of any foreign bodies. Connoisseurs will savor the slight tannin taste of old tea leaves and burnt cat fur. Possessors of a cultivated palate will admire the initial assault on the taste buds, which comes from the careful and lovingly blending of animal manure and parish jock straps strained through an old miner's sock. The maturing in the small pig's bladders gives it a very definitive note. Marketed under the Savior brand, 9 out of 10 people who drink it for the first time exclaim, Jesus Christ! Caution, keep away from naked flames, both old and new. Bottled by the mad scientist just for fun. Wonderful. Wonderful. Ever heard of absinthe? I've had absinthe before, although I've had like Canadian absinthe, which is just not real absinthe. So I've had absinthe that I liked and absinthe that I didn't like. I had one that I got real sick off of, and it tasted like black licorice. And then I had another one that tasted like mouthwash, like mint mouthwash. Um, you know. Do be like that. But I've never had like absinthe from overseas because it's illegal. I've had moonshine. I've had Newfie Screech before. So yeah, absinthe very much varies depending on where you're getting it from. Sly said best night of drinking I had was with an 83-year-old East German woman drinking something that I can't pronounce out of chocolate shot glasses. Ooh. That sounds fantastic. We should swap drinking stories one day. Maybe one day. I'll tell you guys about some of my drinking adventures. I don't nearly drink as much as I did so good this year. I didn't get a single hangover. I didn't overdo it anywhere. I did good. I did good this year. I'm a hero. Alright. It's been 2.5 hours. Why has this been so long? I'm getting out of here. I gotta go do some stuff to go get ready for Dapper's 100th Kent with Bent. Go and join us over there. We can continue the conversation there because we all know we don't really want to listen to what the fuck Kent Hovind has to say. Because nobody likes Kent Hovind. So I'm gonna go be a distraction and cause problems because it's fun and I like to. You can't stop me because you invited me, you fools! Alright, congratulations to Dapper Dino on his 9,000 subscribers. Living the dream is real. We'll see Ben and him over there. Please go and join us and come say hi to me over there. And that starts at 5 my time, I believe, in about a half an hour. So I'll see you guys in about a half an hour or so over there. I guess. Okay, I love you all. Bye.